nearly couldn't find that last chord. You do the intro.
Hello and welcome to Anarchy in the Ukulele with me, Bongo Boy, and you, KD. What are we doing today?
I don't know, but you get much louder when you do the intro.
Oh, like Abby.
Yeah. What are we doing today? Shall I go through what we're doing today?
Go for it.
We're doing ukulele news.
We are bringing it back.
We're doing ukulele news. Do you want to tell us what we're doing?
We are going to look at a couple of upcoming gigs and festivals, one of which we are taking part in, which will be interesting.
Exciting.
As well as a couple of new ukuleles that we've seen online and are excited about.
Yeah. So a bit of ukulele news, because there has been some this week.
There's actually been some news.
In fact, there's been some massive news this week, which we've kind of given away what it is, but
yes,
massive news this week, which we're going to talk about. And we're also doing some jazz chords.
We are the jazz.
Yeah, a bit of jazz. And what we're going to do, we decided about 2 minutes before we hit record on the camera, we're going to do a series over the next few weeks where we're learning a song. Mm-hmm. It is a jazz standard, this song, but if you go to guitar chords or whatever they're called, ultimate guitar chords or places like that, it won't always give you jazz chords. It will just give you very standard chord names, and we're going to work on exchanging those standard chords for even jazzier chords that you can use in loads of different songs, and we're going to work through the song a little bit each week for the next few weeks.
Very nice.
Until we've got the full song done.
Cool.
And then we're doing, instead of a podcast review this week, we're doing a YouTube review. Who is it?
YouTube channel. We are doing a review of Laura Currie,
Well
who
done.
is in the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain.
That's the one.
Not the Great British Ukulele Orchestra.
Not the Great British Ukulele or Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain. And I did keep calling her Lisa Currie earlier because I'm rubbish. We're reviewing Laura's channel. We thought we'd have a little look at it, do a quick review, some thoughts, and bits and bobs. So let's start with the ukulele news.
Kick off with the news.
Yeah. So ukulele news. Let's start with the big news.
Go on then.
The big news is that it has been announced this week that the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain is returning. So because we are fairly new on the circuit, we didn't go to the previous Ukulele Festival of Great Britain. Nope. But the thing that I know about it is that it was in Cheltenham, and it was massive. Oh, so it was kind of like you had Gnuff and you had this festival, and they were the two big ones. There's other festivals that are kind of creeping up there now. I know they're smaller, but Bristol Ukulele Festival's just been a weekend or so ago. There's Yeovil Ukulele Festival coming up, which I might actually go to. We might go to, who knows. There's the Island Festivals. There was the Galway Ukulele Festival, which I think was the same weekend as Gnuff. Yeah. And there is the Ukulele Hoolie coming up. Yeah, which we're very excited about. And so the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain has been announced by Matt Steed. Steed? If I'm offending people today, it's because I'm useless with how to pronounce things. Our issue is we learn a lot of pronunciations of people's names via Paul Mansell. Yeah. And we've since found out that Paul can't pronounce anyone's name correctly. Yeah. Or anything. That's why we get it wrong. Yeah. We're blaming Paul we don't blame Paul for anything here. We should blame him for more.
Yeah, we should.
Can't think of much more.
This is out of tune. Oh,
it's Paul's fault. Yeah. So he's announced a festival. Matt runs the Uke Rooms and the music shop, but it's more than a music shop, I think. No, he does so many workshops, and he does retreat weekends. I think he's just done one this weekend, and it'll look really good, good. So maybe we'll do an Anarchy trip and a retreat, because we could all do with a bit of that actually.
Do with a retreat,
I think. Anyway, so Matt has announced the festival. Yeah. We don't know a lot more than that. We know the dates of it, which I believe... I want to say the 26th of July next year is one of them. Right. Matt says, I'm very excited and proud to say that the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain is back in Cheltenham next year. Save the date, 26th to the 28th of July. More details to come.
Very nice.
I'm genuinely really excited by this because I had such a good time at Gnuff
Yeah.
that I feel like it's better. Now, the abbreviation of it isn't as good as Gnuff.
UFOB.
The
UFOGB.
UFOGob. But, you know, you can't help that, can you? Yes, so let's read what it says. Excited and proud to announce that the much loved and much missed Ukulele Festival of Great Britain will be back in 2024. We'll be keeping everything you loved about the festival, including bringing headline ukulele superstar acts from around the world, as well as supporting rising stars and exciting new talents. The famously big and brilliant Vendors Hall will be back with some of the world's biggest ukulele manufacturers and retailers, as well as fantastic ukuleles from brilliant British ukulele makers too. We'll have mass jams and open mics, inspiring workshops from some of the best tutors in the world. We'll also have some exciting new things to tell you about very soon.
Mass jams.
It sounds great, though. It does sound great.
It does.
I'm really, really looking forward to that. I feel like we should book our hotels now before we put this video out tonight.
Yeah.
Just before everyone else does. I think it's such a good thing for this country to have two big ukulele festivals.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in America there's lots of big ukulele festivals. Even at NAMM there's kind of ukulele workshops and things like that, and like quite a gathering of ukulele players. I think, you know, for this country it's really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm really excited by that. We don't know much more than that now, but,
but
as we find stuff out, we will let you know. That's our first bit of news. What's our second bit of news? What's our second festival?
Well, it's a little bit smaller than the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain. It's Dis Ukulele Day.
Awesome.
And we're playing at it.
We are playing at it.
It is a week tomorrow.
We're playing the main show, which is the Saturday night evening show, isn't it? I think we're on about 8 o'clock-ish.
Yeah, just after 8, I think.
Just after 8. Really exciting. Who else is playing? I knew you hadn't done your homework.
Daisy and the Continentals.
Daisy and the Continentals are playing. And who's the headline act?
You can overdub that.
I'm not overdubbing it.
McShane and Shaw.
McShane and Shaw are headlining.
McShane and Shaw are headlining.
McShane and Shaw headlining. And I think there's stuff going on all day in Dis, isn't there? There's sort of groups playing and things like that, I believe.
Yeah, it's mostly at the Cornhall where we'll be playing in the evening.
Is there any workshops on?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's workshops on in the daytime.
Hang on. Right. I've got info about Dis Ukulele Day.
Yes, go on, give us some info.
So it starts with a big busk at Dismere, which is in the middle of Dis, from 11:30 in the morning. And then at 2 o'clock there is a workshop with McShane and Shaw, who are headlining.
Okay, yeah.
Which includes a tea break.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That's at the Cornhall in Dis. Then there's an open mic from 5 o'clock.
Cool.
And then the concert starts at 7:30, kicking off with Daisy and the Continentals, then us, and then McShane and Shaw.
Right, other news.
News.
Flight have released the electric solid body ukulele, the Pathfinder, as a baritone.
I have.
Which I think is quite exciting.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like it shouldn't be exciting because...
Why?
An electric baritone is the top 4 strings of an electric guitar.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited by it because when we play the band, it means, and I'm doing solos and stuff.
You're just playing the guitar.
Yeah, and if I'm doing a solo on a guitar, I'm pretty much only ever using the top 4 strings of an electric guitar anyway.
Yeah, true.
So the question in the comments is, does that make me a bad person? Because I'm quite excited by it. So I think there's the reason for having it, because in the band, I think it will make my life an awful lot easier.
Yeah.
Because the in all seriousness, so we've got one here somewhere.
The baritone.
Yeah, okay. But in all seriousness, the electric solid body ukuleles I find a bit too high.
Yeah.
And when they're soloing, I find that I want a slightly deeper sound on the solo.
Yeah, you don't need. You can only go like halfway up the neck, and it's
particularly when we've got drums and bass and stuff going on, and we used it in the chain.
Yep.
For me, that will make my life an awful lot easier, and I think it will sound slightly better.
Yeah.
Am I a bad person? Let us know in the comments. In relation to the baritone ukulele,
Not just in general.
if people that know me can not just comment and say, "Yes, you're a very bad man," would be good. So that was flight news, and then what was the other news?
Southern Ukulele Store got some beautiful new ukuleles in stock from Coast, but they've sold.
Well, yeah, but I think that's part of the news. We decided to do these on the news because I saw Alex's post. We love the Southern Ukulele Store. I particularly love the Southern Ukulele Store, and so I watch all Alex's videos, which are amazing. He did a video on these instruments. They look out of this world good.
Phenomenal, yeah.
They are completely different looking to any other ukulele. The sound holes, I can only describe the sound holes as driftwood kind of shaped, which I feel like is doing them an injustice.
Yeah,
because natural kind of.
Yeah, it's two pieces of wood. Well, I imagine it's from the same piece of wood, and they've just sort of flipped it, and then it's got a beautiful outline from the edge of the wood that forms the sound hole.
I mean, we put the picture up so people know what we're talking about, but really, really nice. So it was news because they were so nice. It was news because they're very rare. So we thought, okay, we'll talk about those. But I believe I think they've had two or a few in, maybe only two.
I saw two on their Facebook page.
And I think they sold straight away.
Yeah.
And these aren't cheap ukuleles, so fantastic for Southern Ukulele Store, but also fantastic for Coast.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the kind of thing that it seems to come into the country.
Yeah.
And
it didn't even get on a shelf. And
it didn't even. You just imagine them sort of like, you just pop it on the. Oh no, it's sold. We'll
cleared a nice space for it.
We'll pop this one. Oh no, that one's sold as well. But brilliant, like lovely ukuleles. If anyone's got one, we'd love to see one at some point.
Lend it to us. We'll be nice.
Well, come, bring it down and show us. Be on our show. But I'd love to see one and play one because they just look amazing. I'd love to know what they play like. That was our ukulele news. There was a bit of ukulele news this week. Yeah. So next up, Jazz Chords. We'll pop this song up on screen. Who knows where it'll go because Sam's done it slightly weirdly.
What's the song?
The song is Ain't Misbehaving
by
Fat Swallow. I think it was originally by Fat Swallow, or he was the original performer of it. I'm not sure which off the top of my head. But Ain't Misbehaving, so it's a traditional kind of jazz standard. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time, the chords that you'll see for this is a C chord, going to an A7 chord, going to a D minor chord, going to a G chord, or a G7. Then C, C7, F, F minor, C, A7, D minor. So that C, A7, D minor, G kind of keeps coming back time and time again in the song. Mm-hmm. So the song, if those that don't know the song, I'll try and sing it. It's not going to go well. No one to talk with. I get ever so nervous. And I go, no one to talk with all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you.
Just slow that down a bit.
Or, no one to talk with, all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, saving my love for you. That's just the first verse, or first half of the verse.
Carry on.
No, because you haven't put the words up. And it's a lovely little song.
Yeah.
And you could play it just like that, and that's fine. But we want to go into some jazz chords.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today, we're going to take the first four chords. Mm-hmm. So we've got the C, the A7, D minor, and G.
And you're going to jazzify them.
I'm going to jazzify them, and there's some interesting things on here. Mm-hmm. One of the most interesting is that you can change the D minor to a D major chord and get it sounding even more jazzy. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in some chord shapes into this and some chords that you may not have heard of before. So the C chord, we'll start with that. So normal C chord, like on there. We're going to play what's called a C6 chord.
Mm-hmm.
So a C6 is if you've got your C scale.
Yeah.
When you talk about numbers on chords, they're always a number up the scale from the root note of the chord. So if it said a G6, the sixth note is a different note to a C6.
Yeah.
So from C, you count up the scale, 6 notes.
C, D, E, F, G, A.
A. So we want to add an A into a C chord. A normal C chord is C, E, and G.
Yeah.
We want to add an A in there. Now, when you're doing a C6, you're not changing the G for an A. You're keeping the G in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were changing that, it would be a sus chord, or it would be, it's a completely different chord.
Yeah.
And so a C with a A in it, there's a few ways of doing it, but the way I've chosen to play today, you can play it up and down the neck, numerous positions. I'll go why I've chosen this way in a little bit, but so I'm going to play, think of it as a G minor shape.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a G minor shape there. I get into the camera, G minor shape there, and you're going to move it up to the 3rd fret, which changes it from being a minor chord to being a 6th chord. So you've got the G, an E, an A, and then the C on the top.
Very nice.
You could play it, there's different ways of playing it, but that's my favourite way of playing it. The reason being, the next chord we're going to do is, it was an A7 chord.
Yeah.
We're going to do an A7 with a flattened 5th. So, what I'm going to suggest is that you bar, or partially bar, across the 3rd fret. So you're barring the 1st, 2nd and 3rd string to play your C6 chord. The reason being, your A7 with a flattened 5th is taking this finger and moving it to the 1st string on the 4th fret again. So you're still barring across the 3rd, and that's your A7 with a flattened 5th. That's quite hard to say. A7 with a flattened 5th.
So it's just one finger
It's
movement.
just one finger move to get from the C6 so that's a really easy change, and you've got 2 really jazzy chords in there.
Yeah.
You've got the 6th chord, the A7 flattened 5th. What a great chord that is. Lovely chord. With just one movement.
Yeah.
So if you can learn that barring, if you played it without barring, you can still do it. But then what you need to do is you need to swap both of those fingers around.
Yeah.
And you get this kind of bit of a jump going on. So the tab is that. I'm suggesting that you bar and you just... You could just move one finger, you've got your 2 chords there. With then the D minor chord, to kind of get this jazzy feel. So we're going from a C to our A7 flattened 5th. I then want to go to a D major, not a D major 7 as in the chord D major 7, so it's a D dominant 7th. Because it just adds that slight jazzy tone to it, and it fits in with the song.
Yeah.
And quite often, if you see these chords in a song, a jazz song, and someone's gone for either a D minor or a D minor 7, you can actually exchange it for the D7 chord. Yeah. Just to give another little jazzy twist to it. Now again, this chord, you could bar, because you're doing your partial bars up here. You could just move that finger down to the 2nd fret, do the 3rd fret of the 1st string, you've got a D7 chord. That's fine, and you can do that. I like going to that one because I like having the 7th note in twice, so it really emphasises the jazz element of it. So that's our D chord. So we're doing a D7, just straight D7, however you want to do it. If you want to do it barred, sometimes I'll do it barred, sometimes I don't. Entirely up to you at home. Then the G chord, you could go to a G7 chord, Dead easy, everybody knows that. If you play your G7 chord and then you take your little finger and you put it on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, you get a G7 with a sharpened 5th. So you go,
Nice.
which is a really nice chord.
Yeah.
Like our flattened 5ths. Flattened 5ths and sharpened 5ths, always lovely chords.
Yeah.
And so, but what you can do, because that's quite hard to play, is you can go to the G first, and then you can hit the 5th afterwards. So if you're going from the D,
Nice.
which gives you a nice little change on that last bar.
Yeah.
If you're playing that for a bar or the last beat, however you're doing it, even if it's just that, if it's just a, makes it a little bit easier because you all know your G7 chords. So you hit your G7 and then you think about adding that 5th in there, sharpened 5th. If you need to, or if you want to work out what those notes are for any chord, because you can then work out these chords. These aren't bar chords because none of these chords are barring across the threat, other than potentially you could do the D7. So these aren't movable chords as such because you're only using the 3 strings. But the way that you work them out, like I say, going from there, which is your G7 chord, you would then say that the 5th note is
G, A, B, C, D.
It's almost as bad as you counting backwards last week. D. So we're going to sharpen it. So depending on your preference, that's going to be a D sharp or an E flat.
Yeah.
I always go E flats. I always go flats rather than sharps. And that's how you can work it out. It's all about counting those notes up the scale. So if I said I wanted to play a C9,
That'd be a C plus, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D.
plus a D. So you'd add a D into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another nice chord, C9. So they're the 4
I felt like I'm
chords.
at primary school.
They're the 4 chords we're going to learn today. And it is a bit tricky. I've been practicing myself. It's that's the good one, isn't it? It's the hardest one to play. But it is a lovely, lovely chord. The thing with these chords as well, we're learning Ain't Misbehaving. These chords are in so many songs, so many jazz songs. So if you just want to kind of jazz them up a little bit, you can substitute them. You could do the D minor or do a D minor 7 rather than a D7. You know, you can switch them around. You don't always have to play the C as a C6. And in fact, I think at one point in this song, when it goes to the second line, we might just play it as the C. We're going to try and jazz up that second line as well. And then in the next week, we'll go on to the sort of middle 80 bit that's in there as well. So, have a practice of those. Next week, we're going to go on to the next line. It's a really nice song, this one. I really like this song. I'm looking forward to doing the rest of it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe in the last week, we'll get Abby back.
Yeah.
You can play some bass.
Great.
I'll teach you the bass bit, it'll be fun. And we'll do a little performance of it.
Perfect.
So that I don't have to sing it.
I was looking forward to it.
So yeah, jazz chords. I know, you know, there's so much more that you can go into for jazz chords, but I just wanted to do something that was relatively simple, that people could practice at home for a week, pick up. Let us know how you're doing.
Dip your toe into jazz.
Dip your toe into it. And to be honest, once you've learnt a couple of those chords, you'll always know that you can kind of get a nicer sounding C chord for anything by putting a 6 in.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're playing an A7 in something, just substitute it and get that.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully that's a little way of getting started without getting too much into theory or the complexities of, you know, sort of completely trying to learn jazz from scratch.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you're struggling with it, just add one chord in at a time. Add the C6 and the G7 and maybe the sharpened F.
Yeah, even that was own.
It's such a nice chord, that. Yeah. Right, so last up,
Laura
Currie.
Hopefully.
hopefully, Laura Currie, contact us, Laura, and tell us that we're imbeciles.
Yeah.
So Laura is a member of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain.
Yes.
But also fabulous musician on other instruments as well, which when we look at her channel, we'll see. Really, really nice singer.
Yeah.
I saw her YouTube channel before I saw that she was in the ukulele orchestra, which was a really nice way round of seeing it. And I thought, oh, wow, this is fabulous. And then I kind of, on her channel, there's some bits, behind the scenes bits with the orchestra.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was really nice to kind of like then put all of that together.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at her channel.
Right.
So Laura's channel. Let's have a little look. So I've watched a load of these, and I think she's great. I think contentious. We don't like being contentious on this show, do we?
No.
I think she's the sort of rising star of the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain.
Yeah.
We went to see them, didn't we?
We did.
October, November, something like that.
Yeah. That's the only time that I've seen her. I haven't actually seen her.
I thought they were fabulous.
Yeah.
I thought they were really, really fabulous. The only thing I was slightly disappointed about was that Laura didn't get to sing more.
Yeah.
Because I think her voice is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at her channel. So we're just doing a quick review, letting you know what's on there, so you can go and look at these for yourself. Yeah. She does a lot of cover songs.
Yep.
So there's a lot of covers on there, and the Manic Monday one, which was actually with her sister, was really nice. The ones that I really like, and the first one I can see like that is the Family Guy theme. But she does lots of videos, kind of almost like people were doing in lockdown. I think that may be when she started doing them, where there's multiple versions of Laura.
Oh, yeah.
Playing bass. She's a really good bass player as well.
Yeah.
And plays guitar as well on some of them. Most of these are ukulele based, and sometimes it's bass and ukulele or built up with different ukulele parts. Jolene's another good one. It's the same sort of thing. There's Johnny B. Good with George Hinchcliffe from Ukulele Orchestra.
Yep.
Who is just amazing and plays the guitar solo on ukulele.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep scrolling, Sam. Keep scrolling. So yeah, there's lots of covers. There's some original things on there. Laura's got merch out as well. So there's a video advertising that. So there's things like, there was one on the top, but there's the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain tour of Switzerland.
Yeah.
Which again is really interested. If you're a fan of them, Laura's videos, her behind the scenes videos, are really, really interesting to me. I love all the kind of like touring life of all the stuff that you do when you're not actually on stage.
Yes, yeah.
And the kind of fooling around you do and the meals that you eat. I mean, it's always the best bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah.
But it's the meals and the kind of the messing around, the sightseeing, all that kind of stuff is all in those videos. And I think it's really interesting to kind of see those.
That's good.
What else on there? She was interviewed for Uke magazine. So yeah, lots and lots of covers. Again, we don't want to play anything because we don't kind of want to get a copyright strike, and it's not ours to play. But go onto Laura's channel and have a look.
Yeah, she's got a covers album out as well. Maybe we'll do a review of that.
Yeah, there's a covers album. Maybe that's a review coming up. Didn't see that, otherwise you could have reviewed that this week. So. Yeah, loads and loads of bassline stuff.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of covers. I love the covers with multiple Lauras.
Yeah,
they're kind of my favourite covers that she does. There's a China tour for the Ukulele Orchestra. I mean, I think I have literally watched all of these.
Yeah.
And then there was a whole series that she does of things where she's playing in the bathtub as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fully
clothed in the bathtub. There's no water involved. Water and ukuleles, and you've got the Enya.
Yeah. It's nice acoustics in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah.
I think that's why. But always, what I really like is the production quality of the videos where there's multiple parts being played. It sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
And, it's like a full ukulele band going on with just one person. So I think those are really nice. So, a very quick review this week. because other items in this show took much longer.
Yes.
So, but do go and have a look at Laura's YouTube
and follow
page
her
and follow
socials.
her. We haven't been paid by Laura for this. We don't know Laura. We've never met Laura. Never even said hello.
Come on the channel.
Come on the channel, Laura. Yeah.
Play.
Yeah, we will tag you because Sam tags everybody he gets a mention. So please come and talk to us because we think you're brilliant.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the end of our show.
Oh, blimey, that was a quick one.
It's another Friday. I want to thank all the people that come on with us on a Friday night and comment because I really enjoy. I mean, my Friday nights sound riveting because I sit at home and I get to like 9 o'clock and I'm kind of like, right, what can I watch on the TV that's 28 minutes long? Because I kind of want to make sure I'm logged on. And but I do actually really enjoy chatting to everybody. And so if you're a regular, thank you very much. If you're not a regular watching it for the first time and you're not watching it live, come on next week, Friday night, 9:30. Normally, me and Bongo Boy are there. You never know, some of the others might join in at some point.
Yeah, Paul was there last week.
Paul was there last week as well, yeah. Paul was there. We will get Abby on there. I mean, she'll argue she's got far better things to do on a Friday night.
She doesn't. She has two kids.
Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't at all. And but yeah, come on, Friday nights, 9:30 across the summer, and we will be there chatting along on the chat. So
9:30
really nice.
p.m. BST.
Sam got told off.
I put GMT. Forgot we were in British summertime.
Some man came and told him off. Can we talk about Gordon?
Who's Gordon?
I forgot what I needed to do at the beginning of this video.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to ramble on?
Okay, so this bit at the end of the video, after we've waffled on for the whole video, this bit's for Gordon. Welcome to Anarchy in the Ukulele. This week we've looked at Laura Currie's YouTube page. It's amazing. Ukulele news. Ukulele Festival of Great Britain is coming back. Woo, woo, woo. We're at Disc Ukulele Day. Flight have released electric Pathfinder.
Okay.
Some ukulele store had some coast ukuleles in. They were brilliant. They've now gone. Jazz Chords, C6, A7 with flattened fifth, D7, and a G7 going to a G7 with sharpened fifth. Thanks for watching.
Can we do them all like that?
Everyone else would be much more delighted.
They've been so much happier.
No waffle. No waffle.
No waffle.
Right, next week we'll remember. We'll do a no waffle version at the beginning.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the
I'm going
chat.
to bring a frying pan in next week with some waffles.
So you're just going to smash me around the face if I don't like Dick Reeves and Bob Mortimer. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next Friday, 9:30. British summertime.
British summertime.
See you later.
Don't forget to like,
I
subscribe,
forgot again.
and ring the bell.
We still haven't found the bell. Jesse told me where he put it. It's not there.
It's gone.
We've still lost the bell. We'll get a bell sound effect. We don't want to cheat.
Need a bell.
We don't want to cheat. If the bell was our thing.
Yeah, and it's gone.
Little